Hello everyone. Most of the cards for Compendium of Wraith are spoiled now. I know a bunch of people are focused on Sage because World Premiere London is coming up. I'll be going there myself. In this video I will be talking strictly about the CC format because I feel like a bunch of Majestics are being overlooked now. Everyone's focusing on the commons and rares. So I thought this video might be a nice way to share my thoughts on some of the more interesting Majestics. I'm not gonna talk about everyone, but yeah, I thought I'd highlight a few. First of all, Shield Beater I think is pretty interesting. Weapon that attacks for 5 and costs 4. So yeah, first thing you notice is that you can't pitch one card to swing this. You will need Tunic, which makes it a bit worse than Titan's Fist sometimes. But the interesting is that the cards you own named Visit Anvilheim get Go Again. So Visit Anvilheim is a card that costs X, and you can remove X counters from target Guardian offhand you control. And now it gets Go Again, so you can do that, preferably for 1 or 2, and then swing with your Shield Beater as well. So that makes it so you can play a pretty defensive playstyle because you are adding health to your health pool and swing with a weapon at the same time. It's pretty interesting. The hero I'm most excited for this is Jarl, because Jarl can play Stalagmite, the Guardian shield that makes a frostbite when it's defending. So the thing you can do, you just play Tunic, you play Visit Anvilheim, and when you get some room, you can block with the Stalagmite, make the Frostbite. It's usually very impactful against the decks where it's good against, and then remove the counter and block with it again, make another Frostbite. That just seems really powerful to me. It's kind of a bummer that it costs 4, but with Tunic I think you can get away with it a lot of the time. And it's also nice that with Visit Anvilheim you can sort of convert your hands more efficiently. So yeah, I'm really excited for this card. I saw that Visit Anvilheim's price went up like I think like 1000% or something on card market. So yeah, people are really hyped for this card, and I can't wait to play it myself either in Jarl. Alright, then we have Reckless Arithmetic. When it attacks, rolls 6-sided die, gets plus X, where X the number rolled, and 1 base power, brute attack, blocks for 3, costs 1. Okay, so first thing I'm looking at is RKO, of course. This card feels really strong in RKO, right? If you roll 6 on this, which of course is the best case scenario, it will become 7 power, and then with RKO's ability it will become 12 base power, which is like crazy, right? It's a big bully. But then it's blue, it only costs 1, blocks 3, you don't have to be ahead for it. So the upside is extremely high. And then, yeah, if you roll a 1, it's still pretty good, because you go to 2, and then plus 5 is 8. So it's like a flex strength, but a bit worse. Like, on average, you will roll a 3, which then it will be for 9. Wait, I miscounted some things. But anyway, I think it is pretty good. Just because it's so powerful in RKO. If you have a Vigor out and you have Tunic out, for example, it curves pretty well. And since it's a blue 3 block, the cost isn't that huge to get in. Only annoying thing for RKO is that his claw is leaving soon. As you can see, this card got spoiled already. It is okay. Like, you can attack for 4, which presents a breakpoint if you're getting to fatigue. It can be annoying for the opponent. But there's not a lot of cards with 6 or more power in RKO blues that you really want to play. So yeah, I don't think this card will be very good for RKO. But yeah, Reckless Arithmetic. Let's average will be plus 3, so will be 4. And with RKO plus 5, so will be 9. So on average it will be a flex strength. And then with some upside if you roll 6, some downside if you roll a 1. I think this card is just the auto include in RKO anyway. Alright, then next card, Sense Weakness. Next Guardian attack this turn gets plus 1 dominate when it hits a hero. Deal damage to all allies they control equal to the damage dealt this way. So first of all, why so much gravy hate? we got the we got the rules change announcement that now Gravy, if you're defending or if you're attacking an ally, it counts as a attacking hero, and if the ally is attacking you, it counts as defending hero for cards that say defending hero effects. It's not like with Mask, for example, with Mario, you had to you could choose which form he transforms into. If it was the attacking hero, but usually it was an attacking ally, so it would be random, which would be very annoying because Mario would want the Orb Weaver, and you couldn't reliably get that. So that's already pretty big. However, Zen's weakness I don't think is that good against Gravy. Like in specific decks like Valda, I think it's really good because in Valda you're actually ignoring allies. So to get the full value out of this, you want have multiple allies lying around and kill them in one swoop. For heroes like Jarl, I don't think this is that powerful because if they have allies lying around, that's usually not a good sign for you, right? Because allies mean they can attack multiple times with Rum and Avassiers. So to play this and try to get back in the game, like if you can make it hit, if you can make it work in Jarl, it will be very good. But I don't think the game state that you will be in when this card is good for you, if that makes sense, right? So it's really nice to have as an option against Grave. Like I said, I definitely don't think it's bad versus Gravy whatsoever. It also has multiple appliances. Giving something dominate is good anyway. But I don't think it's good in Jarl specifically, but more so in Valda, where you're just going aggro. You don't care about the allies, and then giving something dominate and maybe pummeling it or whatever will be very good to clear all allies. So yeah, I think this card is good, but slightly overrated. Then Swordmaster Shine. So it costs 3, costs 1 less for each, plus 1 counter on swords you control. Target weapon attack gets plus 5. I just think this card is not very good. Like plus 5 in reactions, don't get me wrong, it's like overpower, a little bit worse, but yeah, I don't think this card will be played a lot. If you have 3 plus 1 counters, plus 1 counters on your Dawnblade, you're winning the game anyway. So yeah, it will be very strong. But yeah, I don't think it's necessary at that point. And otherwise, I just think it's a bit below rate. It's okay. It's an okay card. I think plus 5 in reaction is always good, but I don't. This card doesn't stand out to me as giving Warrior huge power level that I want to play Warrior now. So maybe it's for Hala. We don't know a lot about her yet, so let's see about it. Ghost Protocol Architect. If this was banished from boosting this turn, you may play this from your banish zone. When it attacks, search your deck for an evo with cost less than or equal to the number of evos you have equipped. Banish it, then shuffle. So this card seems pretty good to me. Already, when this attacks, search your deck for an evo, cost less than or equal to the number of evos you have, is pretty good because you can attack with this for 1, then find a card. You can find one of the new evo bases that costs 0. And you can then play them for a banish zone. This essentially just draw a card, plus 1 value on top of it. Then also, Tekla will probably become a boost deck. So with already the evos being very valuable targets to boost, this is just another bonus, right? If you banish it from boosting, you get 1 value, you get another card. It's kind of good to me. So yeah, I'm really excited for Teklo and seeing how he will be built in the new set. Because the new evos, they also look very strong, right? Because most blue evos, they cost 4. They will reduce them to 3, so it will be more efficient to play out. You can pitch 1 blue for it. Yeah, I'm excited about Teklo. Then we have Grimoire of Felling Song. Offhand for Runeblade, you can destroy it for 1 resource to create a rune chant token. So yeah, this card I think is extremely good for Vincent. Vincent usually played the Grimoire. Other one that made Eloquence. which had some use cases, but it didn't come up every game, and also the blood depth was kind of annoying. There's just a strict upgrade if I'm ever seeing it, like destroying it for a Runechant token. Runechant tokens are extremely important for Vincent, like getting to the correct amount of Runechants to Runegate in your turn is extremely important. Sometimes Vincent has to skip turn if they can't make enough, right? So having this as a failsafe or getting that extra one without having to pop your arms for 2 Runechants, this seems extremely good to me. So I'm very much looking forward to playing Vincent. I saw she also got another card. I'll talk about that after some other cards. But yeah, this card just seems like a strict upgrade to Vincent, who already I thought was pretty okay. So yeah, very excited for that. I think this card is great. Then we got Lobotomy. It's also, I think, an extremely good card. Stealth, 3 attack. When it attacks, you may equip an Orbitoclast from your inventory. When it hits a hero, if you control an Orbitoclast, they lose all hero card abilities during their next action phase. So, first of all, when it attacks, you equip an Orbitoclast. So that's the dagger that gives non-attacks -1 if you hit with it. So if you attack with this, you already get 1 value, right? Because the dagger will be flicked eventually. So 3 + 1 makes already a 4 value card. Then also it has the on hit of when you control a Orbitoclast, they lose all hero card abilities during the next action phase. Which is kind of like a dishonor, right? And dishonor is extremely good. So if you have 2 Orbitoclasts in your inventory and you have this card and you play multiple during the game, I think it not only has a scary on hit, but it also is very on rate. And yeah, it just seems like a very good slippy card, or maybe even in other assassins, who knows. So I'm very excited for this. Yeah, then boo, we got to the gravy cards. So I'm kind of salty about the state of gravy in 2026. He got the rules changed, he got the chart nerf, and now the cards that I'm gonna show you just don't make me excited at all. A lot of decks got interaction against him, so I just want to preface, not to be negative, but I'm gonna be a bit negative in this portion of the set review. So, new card, Boo, Resident Spook. It costs 1, attacks for 2, 2 health. Doesn't cost anything to attack with, and if it's untapped, it gets Spell Void 2. So, first of all, allies that don't attack for a lot of damage are usually not very good in Gravy. And why is this? Because Gravy is very weak to fatigue. So any card you play, you want to be scary. Either you want the opponent to have to clear it, or you want to have it present a lot of damage. This card doesn't really do either of those things. So the main appliance I would think this card has is against Acilio, right? You attack with it, you untap it, get Spell Void 2, and then your opponent either has to clear it, or you can stop a Surge or a big arcane spell. So I don't think it's that good in that matchup. Acilio matchup already feels very doomed. You preferably just want to get an amulet out and pray that you draw good hands, draw your conquerors, get good leyline turns, because it's that bad. I don't think this card will help a lot. Attacking for 2 isn't scary at all, and the Spell Void, yeah, it's nice, but it won't win you the game. And this just costs too much sideboard space for 2 minor upside, so I'm really not excited about this card. Yeah, it's just not something I want to put into my deck. So yeah. Then we got Bone Puppetry. This card looks sick, I have to admit, and I had to reread it once again, because first thing I thought is, hey, just get a Whaler back, attack with it on your turn. That seems insane, right? Well, it is at the beginning of the end phase, so if you get the Whaler back, it would die at the exact same end phase of your opponent's turn. The first thing that's annoying is this is an arms equipment, and Gravy's arms are the gold baited hook, which is kind of important for his game plan. As Gravy, you just need gold to play the game and to get the consistency. he already struggles a lot with it since all of his gold generation got banned, the Tipples got banned, Chart got banned. So you can't really play this. The one appliance I would see this card have, and it's very niche, but it's very good for that niche case, is when Gravy is fatiguing another hero. So Dio, for example, is a hero that Gravy usually tries to fatigue. I think this card against Dio is very good, because you block 2 with it, you get back a chum in your graveyard, and then you can activate the chum, discarding an ally from your hand. And then they either have to clear it or just set up another turn, giving you a lot of room. Do have to discard your hand, so in that sense it isn't that good. But I think in that niche case it could be pretty strong. However, I don't think this card would be made for Gravy. I think it's for another Necromancer, maybe in the future. So I'm excited to see what the future holds with this card. Then we have Rune Snare, Ranger action. Next arrow attack gets +3. When it's defense and attacking hero is played to create 2 more auras this turn, destroy an aura they control. I think this card is great. It's just a buff, and it has the trap subtype. So in Riptide, when you trigger it, will deal 1 damage. For example, if the opponent plays a Codex of Frailty, you can defend with this, destroy their ponder, trigger, deal 1 damage. So yeah, I think this card is pretty simple but pretty strong. Pretty excited for it. Then we got the other ally from Gravy, and when I'm seeing this card, I just think, why? It costs 3, and it's Serena with a +1 counter. Yay! Has 1 attack, so that's 2 attack with the 1 counter. Then it costs 1 to attack as well, and then the action is remove the counter from an ally you control. Well, allies in Gravy have many +1 counters, right? So it will come up very often. Destroy an aura token. So what can I destroy? A ponder might be the best, or like a spectral shield. I just think this card is so unplayable, and it feels a bit like a spit in the face, just because it's so bad. No one will ever play this, and it's just attacks for so few, also attacks for 2. Like, Gravy really needed something to get back, but no, sadly this isn't the set for Gravy. Yeah, I'm pretty down on it. Some interesting card Gravy did get, however, beneath the surface. It has Watery Grave and it's a D-React, so you can play this from your graveyard, and it's a D-React. That's quite cool. Only thing is, you need to get a blue in your graveyard to be able to play this. It just has the Watery Grave subtypes. When you play it, gets turned face down, right? So yeah, the fun thing about this is that it works with Jittery Bones, Restless Bones, Blood on the Water. So yeah, that's extremely good, right? It's a D-React you can play from your graveyard, so if your opponent overlaps you, you can discard a blue to Gravy and play this from your graveyard, have like a 1-card 5, right? And still have a resource floating. The part where I think it gets a bit awkward is that it costs 2, so preferably you want to have 2 in graveyard and play them both, but you would need death threats for that. But then you also would need to have discarded a blue card somehow. So while I think the card is pretty fun and maybe has some use cases, I think it's just a bit too awkward cost-wise to put into your deck. So yeah, this goes the right direction, but no, I don't think it will help Gravy all that much. Another interesting card, Submerge. So at an additional cost to play is put a card in your hand from your hand into your deck, 5th from the top. So this card obviously is made for Blood on the Water or Jittery Bones or Restless Bones. You put an ally, 5th from the top, and this attacks as a 1-card 6, right? That's what it's made for. It does seem the most interesting from the cards I have seen. I, however, don't think this card will be played much. It doesn't have Go Again. It is a red. You do have the blue one that attacks for 4. It is nice. Maybe it's for Sage, but no. In CC this won't help. Gravy really doesn't need more red cards in the deck. It just needs gold generation. That's it. Like, if we don't have gold generation, the deck won't work. consistently, so no. I don't think it will help much, but it is a cool and interesting card. Yeah, then it was a little bit entering my rant era even more. Why did I print this card? Pilfer the Tomb. Banish target instant from opposing hero's graveyard. Banish target yellow card from opposing hero's graveyard. And it's generic and it's a blue. This card can screw gravy so hard you won't even imagine. Imagine I play a Call to the Grave. You just play any hero because it's a generic blue, right? The opportunity cost isn't very high to put this in if you want to hate on gravy. Imagine I play a Call to the Grave. I fetch Jump. I activate my Death Threats. And then in response to the Death Threats, you banish my Chum from the graveyard. Then this card has become a 1 card 10, which is ridiculous, right? It's a generic instant 1 card 10 at blue. And that's not even the best appliance for the card. You can also just banish my Whaler, which makes it very awkward because I have to keep it in deck at all times. And because this is a generic, I have to have it in my head at all times, play around it, and like it can just, you won't be able to play around it because it is just simply so good. And yeah, I like this for decks to get even more of a chance versus gravy. Decks like Verdance, decks like Guardian, like it's nice to have a generic instant blue that banishes allies from graveyard, makes fatiguing even easier. But yeah, with all the rules changes, all the chart nerf, I will be surprised if in this year, if nothing changes, I will register gravy again for one tournament. I will be very surprised because he just doesn't have the consistency. It's way too much hate. And then final, like this is the last thing I'll say, but like look at this. Why are we getting this card? Turn up to 1 ally card in your graveyard face down, then create that many gold tokens. Okay, I want gold, sure. But turning my own ally face down to get the gold, that's like not what I want at all. Like I'm fatiguing myself then. No, I don't want that at all. And this card is essentially just a worse seafloor salvage, which already was one of the worst blues we were playing. So yeah, it kind of feels like they are trolling us a bit, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I'm probably biased because I like gravy so much. Now with this card, it's a pirate action. It does make gold, luckily. Next attack action card you play gets +3, wagers a gold with defending hero, the winner creates a gold token. Next time you would lose a wager this turn. Instead you may discard a card. If you do, you win the wager. Okay, so best case scenario for this. You put this on a random attack. It doesn't really matter. You hook that attack. And then it has the buff, so harder to block with hook. And if the opponent would block it out, you would discard a card, and then preferably an LR, card with Watery Grave, to make a gold. That looks very good. However, there's some caveats to this. This card is red. Reds are extremely bad in gravy. Like, if you draw a hand with multiple reds, your hand usually doesn't really function. And if you draw a red off the top with a gold, you're usually expecting to go up a resource or stay equal. Drawing a red is like disastrous most of the time. Then the next thing that makes this card a little bit awkward to me is it only works on attack action cards. So it doesn't work on ally attacks. I would be surprised if gravy plays this, but I do think it's kind of interesting, and getting a card that blocks 3 and that creates gold, I think is pretty nice. Like the upside of the high roll essentially would be discarding an ally, making a gold, right? But I would have to see if in practice that would happen a lot of the time. But yeah, I kept this card to end on a bit of a positive note. And then Glyph Destruction Nodes. Deal 3 arcane damage to up to X target heroes and or allies where X the number of R repairments you control with sigil in their name. So, first of all, probably Auxilio card, right? He has the most cards with sigil in their name. Also, there's Blaze on the art. Maybe we're getting Adult Blaze, who knows. She will probably make the Sigil of Fates, like these. So if you control a lot of Sigil of Fates, you can just blast all allies from the battlefield. So yeah, Auxilio, maybe Blaze, and Verdance, yeah, you can play it in Verdance, I guess, but I don't think you play a lot of cards with Sigil in their name, so yeah, maybe there's a build where you target Gravy more. To be honest, I don't really think he needs to be targeted, so yeah, I don't think this card will do a lot for the existing heroes, maybe for a new hero, who knows. Then this card, what the hell did they do? This card is so extremely good. Light equipment, when a combat chain closes, if this defended, put it into your soul. And it has AB1. Okay, so first of all, Prism really wants soul, right? Prism, you want 2 cards in soul, because then you can flip your Soraya and you can use the other soul to draw 2 cards. Like the game plan they're always going for. They always want 2 soul. Decks that are denying soul can be really annoying for Prism. Also, the arm piece for Prism isn't really as contested. They have like a Goliath Gauntlet, they have like 1 AB, make a Spectral Shield. The arms they're having right now aren't very important. This card is at the perfect spot for them and the effect is massive. Getting an extra soul on demand is just crazy for Prism. It means you have to only hit with 1 Herald, then you can block this and then you can already do your Soraya stuff. And then on top of that, it also has the AB1. It seems insane to me and I can't wait to see how Prism evolves with this. Prism is, however, also a victim of the new rules change regarding allies, so that will be a slight nerf, but getting this card, holy, it makes up for it, I think. Yeah, really excited for this card. Also, Bolton can probably work with this. I don't know a lot about Bolton, but I assume getting a free soul is pretty good. Elemental Strike, this card was spoiled early, didn't really talk about it yet. There's an additional cost to play is banish a card from your hand. If it's Earth, gets +2, Lightning gets go again, Ice gets Dominate. So, this card is just a 2 for 7, right? If you banish an Earth card, it's just a red Autumn Sludge. Decks that are decomposing will really like this card. Why? Because it puts 1 Earth card in your banish already. So your next Felling or Plow will come for the full effect, will gain the +4 buff. That is very strong, especially because Root-bound Carapace has been banned. They will really like this as an extra way to decompose, and the devs hinted to this in the ban and restricted article. So I think this is pretty strong. Now, something like Jarl can also banish the double Earth and Ice card. To give it Dominate and +2. That is pretty nice. So yeah, this is another Jarl buff. I'm really excited for Jarl if I see all the cards. If Gravy gets worse, I can see Jarl getting a lot better. And I do love me some Guardian, so I'm excited for that. This is the Vincent card. Embalm. You may play this from your banish zone. If you do, it gets go again. Put an attack action card with Blood Depth from your graveyard on the bottom of your deck. So, alright. First of all, you may play this from your banish zone. If you do, it gets go again. That works amazingly with creepers. And it has Blood Depth, so you can just banish it to Vincent. Perfect to extend hands. Then it also has the second ability. Put an attack action card with Blood Depth from your graveyard on the bottom of your deck. You can loop this with a bunch of cards. Also in Levaya you can do it, also in Vincent, and in Vincent it's especially important because a big weakness of Vincent is decks that randomly decide to fatigue her. She is very susceptible to fatigue. A lot of decks could just decide mid-game that they're gonna block out everything, that are gonna prevent all the rune chants. And then having this kind of end game where you're not dead to fatigue, where you can swing, I think an Unhallowed Rites or whatever other Blood Depth card on the bottom of your deck, that is very strong. So also with the offhand and with this card, Vincent is eating good this set. Alright, Fan card incoming. I think this card sucks. It looks very good, but I don't think it's that good. Filthy tokens, you control can't be destroyed by opponent's effects. If you control 3 or more fealty tokens, it gets +1 and it blocks for 1. So, first of all, obvious use case is against Scour. Fang hates Scour. It just completely... I don't really have to tell why it's good, right? It just eradicates all your fealties. You have to start all over again. It usually takes you a bunch of time to get it in already like almost unwinnable matchup in Verdance. So against Scour, it's really good. I'll definitely give you that. And if Verdance becomes a threat, I can see definitely being in the sideboard. The thing I don't really like about this card is, well, Temper 2 is pretty good. You need to have 3 or more fealty tokens to get +1. So that means you can't block with it if it doesn't have +1, since it will just die. And if you have the fealty tokens, you can block with it. But the thing with Fang is you don't... you preferably want to block with your armor before you are online, right? Because you want to keep bigger hands. And with the bigger hands, you want to get online. And when you're online, your cards become a bit abundant. So you want to block with them and not your armor. So it's just kind of the wrong order in Fang, in how Fang usually plays. I think it's a great sideboard piece against Verdance. Maybe upplayed if Verdance becomes a threat, like I said. But I don't really get excited for this card. I'm sorry. Let's skip towards this one. I am getting excited about this one. Smoldering Steel, target dagger gets +1. When it hits a hero, deal 1 damage to them. While it's in your graveyard, if one or more frostbites would be created on your control, instead you may banish this. Okay, secondary ability already pretty good. Free value if your opponent would create a frostbite. The thing I'm most excited for is definitely the 3 block. It is a draconic attack reaction that blocks 3, which is super good. Because if you're online, you can just block with this if it doesn't work with your hand, and it allows you to live longer. Most draconic reactions block 2, and the ones that block 3, like Hunt's End and the other one, that name I forget, they block 3, but you usually want to play them since they're so good when you're online, right? So this just being a 3 block and strict upgrade, because it gets +1 on hit, deal 1 damage to them, is just +2 virtually. This card I'm really excited for in Fang, and I think it's a pretty big upgrade for him. So then we go to the Crown of Everbloom. It's not quite Crown of Seeds, sadly. But I do think this card has very big potential in Jarl. It has AB2, which is already pretty damn good. And then also you can destroy it, put a card from your arsenal on the bottom of your deck. If you do, draw a card, create a Spellbang Aegis token. That is essentially Spell Void 1, that token. So yeah, what made Crown of Seeds so broken is that every card in your arsenal you could get back to your hand to block with. So giving Earth Guardians this massive reach with to block the overlapping turns. This card also does that, but more against decks that deal a lot of arcane. So the first deck I will be trying this out against is Verdance. Because in Verdance's combo you can destroy it, prevent 1 arcane, then you have more cards in hand to prevent the big combo, giving you a bit more reach against Verdance. I think that is great. Also, you can destroy it at instant speed, which means you can decompose it. It is minor, but it is nice upgrade. So, really cool card. Then, another card which I think is just crazy good. Chain of Brutality. If it's a 6 or more attack, it gets go again, and when it hits a hero, the next attack action card you play this turn has 6 base power. What? Okay. So if you buff this with RKO, gets go again, and on hit that is maybe +4 value in the deck. You play a lot of cards with 1 base, like Mocking Blow, like some new cards like Insult to Injury, which is pretty simple. So, and you have the threat of activation. Your opponent needs to block 6 to prevent it, which is exactly what you want, because then you can arsenal blue card that you can also play, so you just gain some value there. And then the on hit is insane, and then also weakness of RKO is that you can't extend hands as easily. This is just 6 go again. It's just an extremely good card, and I'm super excited for KO, because this card is just insane to me. Then we have Windcutter. Attack reaction, search your deck for a shuriken item, put it into the arena, then shuffle. Activates only if you've hit 2 or more times this combat chain. Blade break 1. Okay, so the shuriken items give you +1 attack on attack reaction. I think its card is pretty interesting. A lot of one of the shurikens is blue, so it isn't as big of a cost to do it in to put it in your deck. It also costs 0, so into decks like Ira or Katsu, where +1 attack with Mask of Momentum, Mask of the Pouncing Links, or Katsu ability is really relevant. I can see this being very good. It's definitely an interesting card, and I'm excited for seeing what people brew up with this. I think it has a lot of potential. It doesn't look inherently super powerful or anything, but yeah, getting shurikens is pretty nice. Then the last card, Art of the Phoenix War. Wow. I played a lot of Fi back in the day with Art of War. Art of War was a very good card for Fi. Getting the overlap, I don't really need to explain why it's good, right? It's just any aggro deck that goes white that has a huge buff like this, then also drawing cards, it's just extremely nice. Costs you 1 card to play, but you get an extra card, you get some resources, and the buff. It's just value-wise already very insane. So the obvious thing to do with this card is play Rise Up, which is a non-attack that gets you a Phoenix Flame out of your graveyard to your hand. You also did this with Art of War. You play Rise Up, you get the Phoenix Flame, you banish it, or in this case discard it, and then you just have an Art of War. The only bad thing about this is that it only affects draconic attacks, but yeah, you just build your deck in a way that makes full use of it, and especially because there's not a lot of cards like this left, it becomes that much stronger. Even with Rise Up discarding the Phoenix Flame, you don't banish it, so it has an upside over Art of War. You discard it so you can get it back again with Fi and an attack for 2. This card just seems totally insane, and I think Fi got a lot of upgrades. It almost feels a bit like they want to remove Fi from the metagame. Well, I don't think he will last very long because he has a lot of LL points already, but yeah, a crazy card to print, and I'm really excited to play Fi. So yeah, that was it. I think these were a couple of interesting cards. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with some of my assessments of the power level of these cards, or things I missed. Was really fun to make another video. I thought this week I'd probably skip because I was so busy with prepping for Sage, and I couldn't really share a lot of stuff since a lot of testing is secret in the end. So yeah, excited to make this video and keep the streak going for another week, and probably see you guys next week.